Okay, I'm online. Looks like I am. I'm just gonna check Twitch real quick. I always like to make sure, you never know. Plus, give it a minute or two. Anyway, while I'm doing this, if anyone who's already watching, how you doing? I'm JimClassic. You are watching Geekin It, and about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago, I saw the 5th episode of the Ahsoka series. I think the episode was titled Shadow Warrior. It's called Shadow Warrior. So that was today's episode, just released, 2 hours ago. 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. And I've kind of been delaying. I've been kind of a little bit unfocused tonight because I've been trying to do this, trying to talk about every episode, give my thoughts. These are unscripted. So unfortunately, everything is still kind of swirling in my head. So I'm trying to figure this out. Trying to make this kind of reaction type video thing work. Hopefully I don't know. Anyway, I just want to talk about episode 5, Shadow Warrior, for a little bit. And if anyone is watching and wants to come in and chat, we'll talk for a little bit. If no one does come in to chat, I'm just going to be rambling about the episode for a little bit, give my thoughts, and then, eventually I'll just throw it up to my YouTube channel just so I can, keep it going. That's pretty much it. Man, I'm still trying to process everything because there's still a couple of things about the episode I didn't quite get, but I did like it. I mean, it wasn't complicated. The plot was entirely complicated, but I do have some questions. I want to start off with a quick correction. My last video, I was under the misconception that Ahsoka was only 6 episodes long, and I was disappointed that last week was, we had passed the halfway point. Apparently, it is 8 episodes long. And so we're up to episode 5, so we have 3 episodes left. I didn't realize. I thought it was 6. Turned out to be 8. So, either way, I still think 8 episodes is pretty darn short for a season. I'm kind of old school where TV series go on for like 20 episodes. We're currently going through the entire Supernatural series, and that's like 15 seasons, and each season is like minimum 20 episodes. And I think seasons should be a lot longer than just 8. I get it. Star Wars is expensive, but I'm sure there are ways that it could be done, and without killing the budget too much. I mean, just whatever. 8 episodes is a bit short. Still, it is better than 6. So, I just want to talk about a few things. I just kind of scribbled down a handful of things, because like I said, I've been trying to I don't know, for something about this episode, I guess I'm just still processing everything. I did like it. The plot was very simple. I'm just going to go over it real quick. Spoilers. If you haven't watched the episode, I don't know why you're watching this. But, we pick up where we left off in episode 4. Ahsoka wakes up in the Veil of the Force, and Anakin's Force Ghost or entity is behind her, and we also have. Actually, what are you doing? There we go. Ahsoka's wakes up in the Veil of the Force. Anakin's spirit greets her there, and that's where the last episode left off. It was a cliffhanger, and is this how it picked up? No, it did not pick up with that. It picked up with Hera and Carson conducting a search on the planet Syrtos. I still do not remember the name of that planet. I still, for some reason, I can't get the name of the planet to sink into my head. I'm going to say Syrtis. Cetos. Planet Cetos. That's what it is. So yeah, they're conducting the search because Ahsoka they can't find her. They can't find Sabine. Huyong the Jedi training droid, he's holding the helmet. It's like, oh, I told them to stay together. I told them, and they never listen. And you can tell the droid is a little bit frustrated right there. Because, I mean, who listens to a droid? Nobody does. R2-D2 is probably the smartest droid in the Star Wars universe, and no one pays him any attention. But, they're conducting the search, and we see a little bit more of Jason Syndulla, Hera and Kanan's son. We saw him briefly at the end of Rebels. He's showing up every once in a while in Ahsoka, and definitely demonstrates a little bit of Force sensitivity with him, because he just kind of listens out into the ocean. He understands that something is wrong. He feels it, and he can hear things. Well, I'm jumping around. I'll be jumping around a little bit, but he senses Ahsoka out there. Basically, he kind of hears what's going on, and I do kind of like that. I kind of dig that. Chopper was a little toned down this episode, a little bit less of Chopper than we're used to. But maybe just maybe the seriousness of the episode, there weren't any room for jokes. But it was a very simple plot. While Hera and Carson, next page, Carson's right there. Our buddy Carson. I'm liking Carson. While they're conducting the search for Ahsoka and trying to figure out where Sabine is, it's just Ahsoka and Ahsoka and Anakin are in the Veil of the Force, and Anakin says that he wants to teach Ahsoka her final lesson. She's like, "Well, it's a little too late for that." He's like, "Oh, come on, Snips, you're never too old to learn new things." And it was, it was Ahsoka's final lesson, I guess. Maybe after this she became a Jedi officially. I don't really know. I guess, there's still 3 episodes left, so maybe there's more to this. But I'm just, most of the episode was taking place within the Veil of the Force, or within the ether of the Force. This is what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm just trying to wrap it in my head. The episode was full of member berries, and member berries can be fun, but they can also be used as a red herring, I guess, a distraction for lack of any real substance in the show. And I guess that's my struggle with this. I did like it. I did like it for the member berries. I'm not sure if the episode came together, the plot came together well with Anakin's final lesson. My thing is, he's like, "Okay, Sips, this is basically Anakin's final lesson to Ahsoka: live or die," which sounds very Vaderish. It sounds very Darth Vaderish. And they, lightsaber duel. I couldn't find any current pictures this week. I had trouble finding any. They have a lightsaber duel, which it seemed okay. I mean, we got Anakin's aggressive style, and Ahsoka is mostly on the defensive. And they fight to a stalemate. He's like, "Oh, I haven't showed you everything yet." And he slices the ground beneath her feet. And she's in this. She's surrounded by clone troopers. Phase 1 clone troopers from the beginning of the Clone Wars. Which is cool. I'm always happy to see more clone troopers. And they're running, they're charging into battle, and you see the blue lightsaber ignite. You see Anakin running. "Come on, Snips, let's go. We have to finish this fight." And Ahsoka is like a kid. She's like a teenager, like she was in the Clone Wars, and completely different actress. Definitely seeing more of Ahsoka in the younger kid. The younger kid played a better Ahsoka than Rosario Dawson so far, but I've said before, maybe there's a reason for Rosario Dawson's flat performance. Maybe there's a reason, but she's reliving, I guess, one of their first battles during the Clone Wars. And you see the clone troopers, you see everything's all dusty or misty or hazy. Everything's all hazy. So you see shadows of the walkers in the background of the drop ships. I don't remember any of their names, of course. And okay, the cynic that I am, the first thought popped in my mind is, oh, everything's hazy because it's, you know, they're saving money on the budget. You know, they don't want to render all everything, so it's cutting. You know, maybe the money was a little thin, so they had to improvise. But then again, this is taking place within the Force. Maybe it's supposed to be in a dreamlike state, and you know, I honestly liked it. Budgetary reasons, what if that's even true? I have no idea. All that aside, I actually liked the dream-like atmosphere of Ahsoka's Force vision of the Clone Wars battle. And the battle is over, the troops are, you know, at the triage, getting the medical care they need, and, you know, Anakin's whole thing about, you know, they're back and forth about, you know, Ahsoka questioning whether or not she should be a warrior because that's not why she wanted to become a Jedi, and Anakin saying, you know, we're in war. You have to be a leader now. Like, I might have to watch that episode again, but you know, I guess I'm just having. You know, it's not It didn't resonate with me. I'm not. Maybe I'm just too thick to figure it out. I don't know. But you know that we moved on to the Siege of Mandalore, which I'm like, oh my god. You know, like I recognize this right away. I was kind of hoping to see Maul show up for a second, but yeah, can't win them all, I guess. But we did see Captain Rex there for a second, even though it was a younger Captain Rex. We did get to see Rex for a brief moment. It's good to see Rex's first live action appearance, even if it wasn't a dream state or a force induced dream state. But still cool to see Rex. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It was you know, I'm not sure I'm understanding these visions. Like, I wish I had thought about this, because like I said, I'm kind of thinking off the cuff here a little bit. Like, in The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke goes into the dark side cave, and he takes his weapons with him, and he sees Darth Vader, and they have a brief battle, and Luke decapitates Vader, and the mask becomes Luke's face. Like, that could be a representation of Luke falling to the dark side, or his struggle with impetuousness, because Yoda told him not to bring his weapons. He did it anyway. Things like that could maybe lead to the dark side. His doubt, his suspicion, his fears. Like that. I could stuff like that. I can understand. Even something. I'm even going to reference The Last Jedi, which I'm not a fan of that movie. I even understand Rey's experience in the cave with the mirrors, how she's trying to find a family or a community that she can belong to, and that's why she's surrounded by all the mirrors. Like, stuff like that, I get that. I got that. I kind of understood that. This Force vision with, in the Veil of the Force with Ahsoka and Anakin, I'm just not quite sure I'm getting it. And maybe it's just still too new. Maybe in a couple of days I'm going to have an epiphany and be like, oh, that's what they meant by the whole thing. But I just, it just did not make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. I'm still processing all that because, I understand part of it. I do, Purrgils, and we're going to get to that in a minute. It's probably the least interesting part of the episode. In my opinion, it's fine. I understand. I understand part of the lesson. Ahsoka is. What do I have written down? Hold on. So Ahsoka is probably dealing with guilt after she probably feels like she abandoned Anakin. She feels guilty about that. She probably is terrified of taking on a new apprentice. That is probably the stuff that is holding her back. It is holding her down. It might even be like a PTSD thing, as I've said before, which might be which might explain Ahsoka's flat performance. Maybe it's deliberately like that because she is in a shell, and so she's afraid to take on an apprentice. She's afraid to open up. She's afraid. She feels terrible about what happened to Anakin. She probably feels responsible in some way, and I guess Anakin's lesson is to try to help her move on from that. But his Anakin has always been an unorthodox mentor. He's been an unorthodox Jedi. So I guess I'm just not seeing his live or die strategy and connecting it to don't feel guilty, and you should, part of Anakin's thing is you're part of a legacy. Obi-Wan trained me, I trained you, you have to train someone else, you have to pass this on. And she's, I understand part of it. I'm just not figuring out, I just don't get Anakin's strategy of her fighting for her life. I can't imagine Anakin would straight up and kill her. I Force Ghost Anakin or not, I can't. I just don't see him straight up killing her, teaching her a lesson. I just don't understand the method, the mindset. Maybe I have to, like I said, think about it. Maybe I'll talk to a friend about it tomorrow. Maybe watch a few YouTube videos. Maybe help me understand this a little bit. But I did like the fight. It was a good. I loved anything having to do with the Force visions. That was always fun. And there was one part where Anakin is walking with the clone troopers, and you see flashes. He quickly turns into Vader, and then quickly turns back to Anakin, and Ahsoka's just kind of did a double take, So all this is surrounding around her guilt that, the Jedi Master that she respected turned into this horrible monster, and that the last time that she saw him right here in Rebels, they dueled, they fought, and she couldn't reach him, and I think that's part of her guilt, and I don't know how. I guess I just don't. Wow, that's not a very good picture of Vader, is it? That's a very weird. Huh. Anyway, I'm just looking at that Vader mask. It just looks very off. But yeah, that's one of Ahsoka's probably great regrets, is that she could not reach him. She could not reach him when he was in this dark place. And the final part of the lesson, all of a sudden Anakin has a red lightsaber, but he's still in his Clone Wars, pre-Vader outfit, and they're dueling again, and she out-duels him, she disarms him, puts the lightsaber to his throat, and says, "No, I'm not going to kill you. I choose to live." Now she had just lost a battle with Balin. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know. Maybe her failure. I guess she had the option of just giving up and rolling over and dying and just letting the whole thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this out. I thought the visuals were really good. I'm just not sure. I don't know, something about it. Maybe I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll tell you that much. But I can't figure some things out. I'm just having trouble with this one. If anyone is watching and would like to comment their thoughts, let me know, please. Please enlighten me, somebody. I might have to watch that episode again, though. I did kind of like it, though. I liked it. I just didn't get it. And there's a few other interesting things about the episode, but I did like the Purrgils. Ahsoka comes out. She does wake up. Blah blah blah. The whole kind of speaking to the Purrgils through the Force, and she's off on her next adventure, hopefully following Morgan and Sabine, because they figure out where Sabine is. She uses the Force and all that stuff to figure out what happened to Sabine when she's holding the broken map. So that was cool. that's all wonderful. But I am, as much as I'm struggling to understand the lesson, I am very much more curious about Anakin within the veil of the Force. Like, is he now, as a Force spirit, the guardian of the veil of the Force? Maybe that's his post to look out for the veil of the Force, to keep it kind of balanced, maybe, so that no one else interferes with it or uses it as a weapon or something. Could, because there were some theories about that he might be the brother in disguise, from was it Mordok? Malik? Not Mark. Not Mark. Mortis. The father, the daughter, and the son. Some people thought it might be the son. He might be the son in disguise. But the thing that was interesting, that I really liked, is after Ahsoka had chosen to live and to continue to fight, this probably explains her wardrobe change at the end of the episode. And again, I could not find a picture for today's episode, but from the Rebels, at the end of Rebels, she's wearing all white. At the end of this episode, she's wearing the white poncho, and she's got white gauntlets on. She has completely changed her outfit. And as some people refer to this as Ahsoka the White, which is more or less a reference to Gandalf the White from Lord of the Rings. But so this was interesting. Like, this is, I guess, her duel with Anakin, or her encounter with Anakin's spirit, kind of maybe revitalized her, gave her a new perspective or new hope. New Hope. That sounds like an interesting title for a Star Wars movie. And I guess this is kind of her rebirth a little bit, which is why she's wearing the white outfit. This is probably her conquering her fears, and that could be it. And you know what? That might be the whole point of the episode. Maybe that's why Anakin's ghost was so aggressive with her. Kind of to get her head out of her butt, basically, and just like, hey, you gotta focus. You gotta keep moving. This isn't over yet. You can't just lay down and die. You have to keep on going. And maybe that was the whole point of Anakin's lesson. I mean, he's always been unorthodox, as I said before. He's always been an outside of the box kind of a teacher, teaching the hard way. But it seems to be effective, I guess. But yeah, I guess this is Ahsoka conquering her fears and moving past all of her guilt, moving past all of her doubts, and likely by the end of the series or the season, she'll have trained Sabine to be a Jedi, or she'll eventually be more accepting of taking her under her wing. Maybe that's the whole point. Like with Yoda, pass on what you have learned. Anakin was saying, "Yeah, get up off your ass," and you still have work to do. Same idea, completely different strategy. So maybe I already figured out the problem. Maybe I already figured out my dilemma just by talking it out. That's really all I gotta say right now. I mean, this is a little bit shorter than normal, but I mean, it was. There wasn't much. There was a lot going on in the episode, but it was only like, 2 parts going on: the search and rescue of Ahsoka, and her duel. Ahsoka's battle with her guilt. And the search and rescue was okay. We got a little bit of development in Jason. He's obviously learning the Force. He might be Ahsoka's student instead of Sabine. We don't know. But we do see some promise in Jason, because he could hear the lightsaber battle through the waves of the ocean, and I guess he had a connection to the. I guess all Jedi would have a connection to the Veil of the Force, maybe, if you were aware of it, and maybe Jason has learned about it through Ahsoka. That's entirely possible. Since he knows about it, maybe he can sense it a little bit easier than previous Jedi couldn't. But yeah, So we have Ahsoka the White now, or at least the beginnings of it. We'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to episode 6. I mean, I guess episode 6 is probably going to be spending most of that time in the belly of that damn Purrgil. Because I can't imagine a trip to another galaxy is going to be a short one. I have a feeling the entire episode is just going to be them in hyperspace in the whale's belly. And of course, Hera is in trouble with the New Republic Senate for disobeying orders, but I guess we'll find out what happened there. I mean, it's a shame Ahsoka just took off, because Hera's probably going to get court-martialed for that, but I guess we'll find out later. So far, it's also not the Rebels reunion I was hoping it would be. Still no Zeb. I was hoping to see current-day Captain Rex, but whatever. So, and if the adventure is going off into another galaxy, we are definitely not seeing Zeb and Rex anytime soon. But that's okay. Or Callus. I keep forgetting about Callus. But anyway, as much as I enjoyed seeing Anakin and Ahsoka reunite, and I know I said this last week, I will say it again, it still kind of bothers me that we never got to see that reunion with Luke and Anakin in the sequel trilogy. That's still kind of is like a jab, kind of a what's that word? Stuck in your craw, stuck in my craw, or something. I don't even know what that means. But it's just like still feels like a bit of a burn right there that we never got to see that in the sequels. Oh well. Said missed opportunities. Add that to the list. Anyway, that's it. That's really all I got. I did like the episode. I really liked how the Veil of the Force, Ahsoka's last lesson, looked, and I think I have a better understanding of why it went down the way it did. I guess I just still need a little bit more time to think about that. Run it through my head a couple more times. But overall, it was definitely an episode worth watching. I don't think this, I am a very cynical man when it comes to Disney Star Wars now. I used to, I don't want to go on a big soapbox right now about this, but I'm very cynical towards Disney Star Wars. And there are things that I love about Disney Star Wars, and there are things I absolutely hate about Disney Star Wars. And so far, Ahsoka has not really been bad. I mean, it's been boring in some cases so far. I thought the first couple of episodes dragged a little bit too long, but so far, I'm liking Ahsoka. I am still liking it. I am still on board. I'm still satisfied with it for right now. I'm looking forward to the next 3 episodes to see how it's all going to wrap up, how it's all going to fit in with Heir to the Empire, the real Episode 7 of Star Wars. That's a hill I will die on. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll be doing this again next Saturday for episode 6. If anyone is out there watching, thank you for watching. If I'm going to throw this onto my YouTube channel, so the usual. If you're watching YouTube, like, share, and subscribe, and all that crap. If you have a comment, did you like the episode? Did you hate the episode? Did you like the member berries? That was like 90% of the episode, or did you hate the member berries? Do you get Anakin's final lesson to Ahsoka? Did you think it might be a little off-putting like I did? Is it open to interpretation? Are there many different, interpretations to it? You tell me. You share it with me. Anyway, I think I'm out. I think that's all I got to say. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble on like a crazy man. So I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin' It. Thank you for watching. If anyone is, I will see you again next time. Have a good one, everybody.